studio mode. Oops.
Ah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to PCG Live as I'm itching my eye. Uh, welcome
Oh,
to the
that's
show.
not the best thing to do right now.
I washed my hands, I promise.
There you go.
Um, it is, what is it, April 9th, and
It is April 9th.
we are still locked in our houses, but we're still got some smiles on our face. And there's lots of reasons why we still have smiles on our face, and we will get into all that in a little while.
Yes.
How you doing, Kyle?
Doing all right, doing all right. Had family over today. Big bro
Nice.
came over. We were playing some Super Mario Party.
Nice, nice. Some Super Mario Party going on. Nice.
Yep. I also snuck into Animal Crossing today, per usual.
Oh, yeah.
Per usual.
Can I just say I'm sick of the Easter eggs already?
You know, it's funny. Everybody was like sick of the Easter eggs after like the second day.
Oh, I was sick of the Easter eggs after the first day. Dude,
Yeah.
when it gets to a point that you're fishing and you're pulling out Easter eggs instead of fish, like that's pretty frustrating.
Yep. A lot of people have been saying that and
Yeah.
stuff. And I get it. I totally understand.
Yeah.
So, but then the thing too is like in the game, you get all the recipes like fairly quickly,
hmm
and literally I've built all the recipes already with all the eggs I've gotten. So it's like,
I'm still missing some. Like I don't leave my island though, so
oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I could head over to your island and whatever you need, I could hook you up with it.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't, but I just
Mm,
invested in my house yesterday, so my house should be done today.
nice.
Um, there's just a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff, but it feels good to play. I do like it. It's very relaxed. I've
Yep.
been getting heavy into God of War, which
Oh
I
yes.
mentioned in the chat, which I don't know if it was your chat. I think it might have been my brother's chat.
Probably brothers because I didn't
Yeah.
hear anything God of War yet from you.
So God of War has just made me realize why I love God of War so much. And the big reason why I love God of War so much is I think God of War has the best fight scenes for bosses. I think it's between God of War and Bayonetta. But I
Oh,
think with Bayonetta is a lot more unrealistic in the sense of the type of characters that they put in there. Um,
uh,
like the dragons are like really fancy dancy and stuff like that. Like they're very graphically pleasing, opposed to God of War. God of War is very gritty and grimy,
yeah.
and to what we're used to as far as the Greek mythologic Greek myths, and then now even with the Viking myths and so on and so forth. Because
Yep.
this game, no spoiler, but this game has a lot more tied to other realms. So,
Right.
um, but I just fought the first real boss battle, which was the dragon,
Yep.
and I was just like, I'm excited. I'm giggling like a little schoolgirl as I'm playing it, and I'm
Yep.
just like, this just remind me why I love God of War so much. Is God of War is probably the most interactive boss scenes that visually look so good and just make you feel like you just did everything he just did. Like after you're done with the fight scene, you're just like, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's very satisfying after all those fight scenes that you
hmm
have.
hmm
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun though. I know you're gonna enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm in love with it. So it put a smile on my face, and I'm like really happy where I'm at. And then I've done a lot of upgrading. Um, all I gotta say is his son. If you're watching this and you haven't started yet, upgrade him as fast as possible. Um, I have him at a point right now that he's like one hitting everybody, and that becomes so beneficial. Like when I first had him, I never used him because it was just like I felt like he was useless. So then finally, I was like, I'm gonna start upgrading his stuff, and immediately noticed a difference. Like immediately. Like he has bows that explode that attack more than one guy. He has things that cause everyone to freeze. Like it's such an important character to upgrade. Like don't just keep upgrading Kratos because that's who you're using. Like definitely, you know, weigh your option on how you play, but really try to utilize him as a character. And that was actually one of the things that they talked so much about when that game first came out was God of War had the best supporting character that you couldn't take full control of out of any video game that existed. And I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, Atreus. Atreus is a phenomenal sidekick.
Mhm,
When you upgrade him, I totally agree. Definitely upgrade him to where he can utilize his weapons to the full extent. Because you can just do as much damage as you want, but he can do like a lot of helping with you throughout the game
mhm.
when it comes to the big bosses, when it comes to the battles with the massive amount of enemies and stuff. Like he's super helpful. So
Yep.
you're doing the right thing.
Yep, yep. So, real quick, just to get it over and done with, because we got a lot to talk about on the show, and I want to make sure that we touch all the topics. I just want to bring up. Oops, let me slide this. Let me slide this over this way so that it's right there in my
So it
face, not
covers
yours.
his face.
um, I just want to remind everybody to go check out our GoFundMe page to help PCG. We are closed during these times of pandemic, so just make sure you guys check out our GoFundMe. It's gofundme.com/ help PCG. Again, we're not open, we're not doing anything, so we are literally at a standstill, which is going on 4 weeks starting this week. So it's
Yep.
been a full solid 4 weeks. So
Yep.
I always like to make sure that I always do that. If you can't help, money wise because of your situation, please, just spread the word. The more people that know, the better. So thank you for everyone that's already supported, and thank you to those that continue to support. So
Mhm.
fantastic. So moving on. Is there anything other than Animal Crossing you're playing right now?
No, not really. I mean, I just got Resident Evil 3 the other day, last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have that. I still have Doom Eternal. And then we'll be talking about this in a little bit anyway, but FF7's coming. Like I told you in chat, it says it's expected Monday,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of weird because Best Buy is usually good with getting it to your house on the day of release.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, we've heard numerous reports from like Square possibly not getting all the physical copies out in time when we get that. But so I totally understand. I totally understand if that's the reason why, because of COVID going around and making it very difficult. So totally understand. But again, I got Animal Crossing, I got Resident Evil 3, and I got Doom Eternal. I'm pretty sure I could survive till Monday
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of waiting for FF7.
Mm-hmm.
I know certain people probably can't.
I'll get into
Right.
that in a little bit. Yeah, yeah. There's more that I want to talk about with that topic too. So,
Yeah.
I'll get into that in a little bit. So, but um, let's hop right into it. So, our first story is the Cooking Mama Cookstar. There's a big controversy going around with this game. A bizarre controversy,
Very bizarre.
as this article states. Um, I'll just read the article, quote it from Digital Trends. Controversy has surrounded Cooking Mama Cookstar, the latest installment in the normal, mild-mannered cooking simulator franchise for the Nintendo Switch. After it was abruptly pulled off of the Nintendo eShop shortly after its release, the game launched near the end of March, but is currently unavailable on the Nintendo eShop across multiple regions. Physical copies in certain regions have also been reportedly held. There was no explanation for the sudden takedown of Cookie Mama Cookstar. However, a tweet alleged that the game was mining cryptocurrency using players' Nintendo Switch's accounts. So Cooking Mama replied on that, and it says the internet is alive with rumors that Cooking Mama cooking stock contains hidden cryptocurrency blockchain capabilities that are causing the switches to overheat. This is absolutely incorrect. At Planet Entertainment, we explored both blockchain technology and cryptocurrency tokens. We looked at these options as a means to allow players to trade in-game assets. However, we only explored the theory behind the concept, not the implementation, into the deployment. Cooking Mama Cookstar, nor any of our other titles in the past or near future will utilize crypto technology. So with it saying that, it never stated why it got taken off.
You think they're lying?
I don't think so. I don't think they're lying. Because that's something that they couldn't lie about because Nintendo could come right out and be like, no, it did. You know what I mean? Because Nintendo would know.
Bro.
Um, and it would have already been kind of exposed with proof. There's been no real proof. It's just been theories. So,
Right.
but what makes me scratch my head a little bit is how would a rumor like that get started?
Correct. Because of the
So,
technology that's in that game. And Cooking Mama, even though it's mild mannered,
mhm,
still a pretty decent sized title for 3DS owners. A lot of people bought Cooking Mama for
mhm,
all the handhelds, and now we have a Cooking Mama on the Switch, or did have a Cooking Mama on the Switch.
mhm, mhm.
So, but it says, let's put it this way: they're saying we looked at the options as a means to allow players to trade in-game assets. However, we only explored the theory behind the concept, not the
Just one.
implementation. So, so they're saying that they didn't implement the cryptocurrency tokens. I mean, I didn't play the game, so I'm not sure what, the whole cryptocurrency blockchain capability thing, what they do with it. Because it sounds like it's like involves trading
Mhm,
different items.
mhm.
So I don't know if there's something with the trading of the items that kind of borks the system or something with online. It has to be something with like online and interacting with online.
Right. Something's not right with it, and what it is,
Right.
I'm not 100% sure. So it's definitely making me scratch my head. Um, it's just I don't know if it's definitely the crypto or not. So.
But the thing that's bothering me is like, but you removed it, but you haven't said why.
Mhm. Mhm.
Why haven't you explained that?
Mhm.
Like, if you removed it for a reason, what was that reason?
Yeah. What was the purpose?
Like, that's why I'm thinking like I'm not saying they're lying, but I think it's something that like could be
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure. So I mean, we'll have to see. Like, I'm sure we'll be getting some updates on this story as it continues to develop.
Mhm. Mhm.
But like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you go on Twitter and you're like, you address the rumor saying no, that's not true, but you're not explaining what the actual reason is,
Yeah. We don't even get into the
which
reason.
makes me think it's still a pretty bad thing that happened.
It's just weird. Like, is it that broken that you took it off? Like,
Right.
I mean, can the people that bought it still play it?
I mean, if you shut down the servers, I mean, unless it's got a single player mode that you can go through. If it's online, they shut down the servers. I mean, you're not going to be able to touch it.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so interesting, very interesting. I'll have to see what else develops. There's not a lot to it yet,
Mhm.
but
I,
we'll have to see
I like to
what
bring it
develops.
up because no one knows what the heck's going on with it. So,
Very true. Very true.
um, a topic that we've been talking about since the release, um, Google Stadia free starting today, which is yesterday. Pro subscription free for 2 months. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Is this
Um,
still a thing? Oh, sorry. What? Oops. Oops.
So, so this is an article from IGN. I'm just going to read a couple blurbs from it.
Yep.
It is a pretty lengthy size one, so I'm just going to read a little bit. Google has announced that starting today and rolling out over the next 48 hours, Stadia is now free to use in all 14 countries where the game streaming service is supported, so long as your users have Gmail account. New users can sign up as at Cydia's website with their Gmail account with access to the free tier allowing players to purchase games and stream them up to 1080p 60 frames. They're still saying that? Like
Still saying it.
players who sign up today during this new free rollout, however, will also receive 2 free months to Stadia Pro subscription tier level with an option to either continue a $9.99 month subscription or opt out afterwards. And anyone already subscribed to Stadia Pro will simply not be charged for the next 2 months. Pro subscription tier allows players claim free games for the Stadia library on a regular basis, which they will have access to as long as their subscription is held, similar to the PlayStation subscription. The current list of free games Stadia Pro users can claim is Destiny 2, Grid, Glint, SteamWorld Dig 2, SteamWorld Quest, Serious Sam Collection, Spittinglings, Stacks on Stacks, and Thumper. Such a such a bad title list, man. Like,
So, Guilt's the one that's a Stadia exclusive, right?
I think so.
I think that's all right. So, all right. Literally, here's the thing: if I was doing this, for the record, I'm not. If I was doing this, I would immediately already pick Guilt. It's an exclusive game. That's what I want.
Hmm.
And then after that, it's the
I would do.
Destiny.
I
I'd
was gonna
probably
say I'd
pick
do
Destiny
Destiny.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably pick Destiny. It's the most expensive one.
Hmm. Yeah, I would do Destiny.
Yeah,
But
after that, it's you have Grid. Okay, you got SteamWorld Dig 2, SteamWorld Quest, which are indie games. Serious Sam Collection, that is a very, very niche game, a cult game, like not cult classic, but like a cult following game. Not many people know about the Serious Sam Collection.
I would play
Uh,
Serious Sam. I like Serious Sam.
I never played it.
It was a rip off of Duke Nukem. That was
Yeah,
their
right.
whole thing. But it was a fun game. It wasn't
That's
Duke
what
Nukem, but
I'm saying. Like it has a cult following, but not like this ridiculous following.
right, right.
But um, Spitlings, I don't know. Stacks on stacks on stacks, and then Thumpers. We've played it, rhythm game that you might as well have on VR and stuff. So literally, like the only two games I would get would be Guilt and Destiny 2.
Hmm.
At that point, everything else is like okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
but I don't want to get too deep because I know you're a big fan of Stadia now.
So to get into a little bit to that is I like I like what they did. I think this is something that they need to do. That's something that we kind of talked about is what can Stadia do to help their cause?
Yeah,
And this is definitely the right step. And right now is the time to do it, considering everyone being locked in their house. So
correct.
I know I'm gonna sign up for it and try it. I still don't think it works on my phone. I do have a Chromecast, but it's an old Chromecast. So now I'm gonna see like what capabilities it is. It just sucks that it's around the time Final Fantasy VII's coming out, and realistically, that's where my focus is going to be on.
Right.
And then now that I have my remote play all set up on my PlayStation. That's mostly what I'm doing for my laptop. And I also
Yep.
have PlayStation Now. Um, I can play Xbox games. So like Stadia is just getting stacked on, stacked on, stacked on. But in all actuality, like I do want to give it a try. Like I want to see if I can play it in my browser, how well it, just for testing purposes. And I'm curious on if we're able to use any controller. Like that's a big thing. I want to see if we can use any controller because supposedly you're supposed to be able to.
So they did say that you can use your if you don't have the Stadia controller, you can use the PS4 controller and you can use the Xbox controller.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
assuming it's going to be the Xbox one that has Bluetooth capability.
Hmm. Hmm.
Which, if I wanted to, I could actually have it right, my white one right here.
Hmm.
Um, so like, yeah, you could, um, but I don't know. It's like, so they're saying they're only doing it for the next 48 hours. I think it should just be like a week or two.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest here,
They'll
Stadia is
extend
still
it.
yeah, I mean, Stadia is not still the best thing right now.
Right, right. No,
Well,
I think they're gonna end up extending it. I don't think you're just gonna see it for 48 hours.
don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they only
Hmm.
do it for 48 hours and they're like, okay, which actually technically this article was posted on the 8th, which means we only have about 6 hours
Hmm.
left at this
Hmm.
point. Um, so yeah, by the end of the night tonight, you have to sign up for it. Otherwise, I don't know what it's just going to be their normal thing, and then you won't get the 2 months of Stadia Pro. I mean, like I said, they should have extended it. I've said this before that they should be doing something like this right now because it's not still the best thing going right now at all.
Hmm.
They need to do something to bring in people. Yes, this will bring in people, but if people just don't know
Yeah,
in a
it's
48-hour span,
yeah, it's not marketed very well. So like, I don't think
no,
people are gonna know.
they haven't marketed this. Let's put it this way: when was the last time you saw a Google Stadia commercial?
I don't think I've ever seen a commercial.
So, all right, well that makes 1 point for me. But let's put it this way: the last time you saw a Google Stadia commercial was the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
You haven't seen anything since the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
No promotion, no nothing.
Hmm.
The only way you're gonna know right now is if you're a gamer.
Hmm.
You are Google, the biggest search engine in the world. You make constant items and devices that you can use throughout Gmail and whatever Google thing. I've got a Google upstairs that's a freaking basically like the Google Home
Hmm.
shit. You have all the money in the world and you have a gaming thing. You need to promote this thing if you want people to buy, regardless of how bad it's working right now.
Hmm.
Still, if you still want people to come in and try this out with their free thing, you need to promote this
Yeah,
on
that
TV.
people got to know that it exists.
Right. People have to know. The only reason why people know is if you're a gamer and you read websites like IGN or GameSpot.
Mm.
Other than that, you don't have a clue that this is going on. There's no advertising. So I don't know. I think honestly, they should go for at least a week or two. They should be giving out the 2 months pro for free, regardless, even as just a sign up thing. Even if they don't get into the free sign up, if someone signs up, they should be getting like 2 months free so they could try this out.
I agree.
So I'm about to say, you still want to build your brand, you should be doing that right now because you
I,
didn't have the best start. But
actually, I'm gonna set an alarm so that way I don't forget to sign up for that because
you know what? Honestly, like if any of us should be doing it, it probably should be me since I have this big old monster sitting on the side of me, along with a. Well, I don't know if my phone's gonna work, but I mean, I could try it on here and see if it actually will run 1080 60.
well,
Like,
but that's the whole thing. Anything that's web based, your machine doesn't even matter. So that's what the point of the
true.
Stadia is.
That is true.
So if anyone wants to do it, it's people that don't have anything to make it actually work.
Oh, but then
Um,
again, actually, then again, I should because my equipment is, can run 1080 60. That's as far as like Wi-Fi and stuff like that.
mhm.
So I should, but I know I'm not going to use it. So
Some more information out there other than the Stadia. That's pretty much it on the Stadia. Um,
Mm.
Rumor has it that you put there's the wrong link up here. The link that's on there is for one of the end topics, main topics.
Oh, jeez.
But that's okay. I'm already on it. I didn't post it in there, but PS5 overheating issues. So a lot of mixed reports on this. So it all started with a tweet, and the tweet came from Jeff Rickle, which is the executive editor of Windows Central. And in those comments, related how apparently he knew several people developing directly for Sony PS5 console, and that their collective feeling is Sony screwed up this gen. Okay. They underestimated MS and were overconfident. As a result of this, Rickle continued to note gamers should expect delays to PS5 and overheating problems as of right now. Hardware fails at an alarming rate. So this
Mhm.
was never proven. Apparently, this Twitter account has very low like followers and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So now, once you start that fire, it's gonna go all over the place, and then people are gonna start taking a story that's not true and start making it into truth. So it
Right.
ended up getting all over Reddit, and um, it's just it's it's crazy. Uh, I mean, not much I can really say about it. First of all, these people aren't using the real kits; they're using developer kits. So,
Right.
a lot of these kits that could be overheating could have been kits that they've been using since the summer. They didn't get the
True.
newest model.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, why didn't developers come out and say it? Like, why didn't this come out sooner? Like, there's
Yeah.
so many different things that are wrong with this, and I'm not saying that it's 100% false, or I'm not saying that this is not possible because it is possible. It's nothing even new. Like we've heard these new systems before in the past with PlayStation 4. We've heard it with Xbox One. Like overheating issues is a very common thing in new systems. But it's an issue that we know very well now, that these companies are very aware of, and making sure that it doesn't happen, and they know how to test it. And that's one
Right.
of the things that they mostly test now right away. So that's why it's really important, and that's why I find this a false thing, is because of the fact that they prepare so much for that. So for me to believe that they didn't prepare for that, I just I don't believe it. On top of there's no facts. Like there's nothing. I haven't read anything. I don't know if you found anything.
I haven't found anything more after that, but I will. I mean, listen, I'm not saying this is true at all. It's like this is pure speculation, regardless. But I mean, I will say this: there have been times in the past where I've heard that the PS4s were running a little hot.
Hmm.
So, as far as like it overheating, would I be surprised if that was true? No.
Hmm.
Sony kind of has a track record for their systems kind of running hot. A system like this that's going to have so much power is going to need some sort of coolant system in
Hmm.
it, like the Series X, which has the vapor chamber cooler. You need something like that. Let's put it this way: if I didn't have a liquid cooler in my PC right now, this thing would be running stupidly hot all the time. So, I mean, it definitely will help. It's going to be pumping out a lot of power.
Well, they do have ways that run a little bit better than liquid cool, not better than liquid cooling, depending every so everything is based on what type of product you have, because
Right, right,
you could get hard drives that run better than solid state, but you're going to spend a lot of money on that hard drive. But
right.
then the top of the line solid states, those hard drives aren't going to compare to. So you know what I mean? Like it's all
Right.
depends on the type of money you want. So there's a lot of cooling methods and a lot of cooling things that you can add into video game consoles because they do it in PCs. That's not
Yeah.
liquid coolant that can run better than the cheaper liquid coolants.
Well, I'm not saying they have to run liquid coolant. I'm
Right,
just
right,
saying find some sort of coolant
right.
to run in there. Like again, the Series X isn't using a liquid cooler; they're using vapor chamber.
Yeah. Again, I don't see it as I all the consoles run really hot. I mean, the first Xbox One edition, people think that they went to make it smaller and that was their goal. No, that wasn't their goal. The thing shut down. The first
Right.
Xbox One was awful. It was
Oh,
awful.
absolutely. I had the thing.
But guess what? The first PS4 was awful. Like
Right.
that thing ran so loud. Like after a while,
Oh
like
God,
it was
yes.
so bad. It was so bad.
Extremely loud.
So like all the consoles do it. You know, all the consoles do it. I'm not gonna have any doubt that this new Xbox, we're gonna run it and
Hmm.
it's we're gonna have problems keeping it cool. But
Absolutely.
I'm sure they're learning more and more about the testings that they can do to really test it. Like, first of all, don't put it in a cabinet and close the door. People don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not letting it breathe. So everything is about letting it breathe. You got to let things breathe. So,
Right.
but
Absolutely.
I'm not concerned with it. I'm really not.
Listen, we haven't even seen the system yet.
Mhm,
So let's put it this way: there's going to be a lot of time, and honestly, with what's going on, and them, delaying Last of Us 2 indefinitely.
mhm,
I mean, don't be surprised if all of a sudden they're like, "Well, we're not going to really release PS5 during holiday, blah blah blah," because certain situation. Like, not to talk about it at all, like because I'm not trying to at all, but like this virus could last for quite a while.
mhm.
Like maybe like I know we're seeing like progress in New York as far as like it plateauing
Mhm.
and like now it's like kind of leveling off. But at the same time, that's just New York and it's not everywhere else.
Right.
So,
Um,
but
Boston. Well, I mean, what's plateauing with where it was the worst almost in the world. You know what I
right.
mean? Like,
Right. I mean,
what does that mean? Like, it was the literally the worst location in the
oh
world.
yeah, yeah, literally, yes. It is literally the worst hit spot in the world.
Yeah. So they're like,
Absolutely.
oh yeah, now it's getting better. Like we've leveled off. Like, okay, but what's leveling off to you guys? You guys had the highest numbers in the entire world. So,
Well, let's put
um,
it this way: the fact that they're saying they're leveling off
it's a good sign. I mean,
is a good sign,
yeah,
but
going
we have
down
to
is good.
see. Right, but we have to see exactly if it's going to stay like that
Hmm.
and go this way, or
Or
if it goes that
yeah.
way.
Right now, Mayor Mayor Menino, Mayor Menino, Boston's mayor, came out and said that it was the incline between yesterday and today was the worst. It was like 300 and something.
Yep,
Just in Boston. So now Boston is up there in over 2,000, 2,700, I think.
yep.
And it's just not in a good place. And he said
No,
that even though right now we have it set to May 4th, he sees this not being done until like September or August. Not saying that the
no.
ban will be till September or August. I mean, July, September. No, August, July, August. That's
Let's
what
put
I
it
said,
this way:
July,
it's
August.
if it's going to last
Yeah.
until, I mean, at the very least, August. It could go much further.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's never gonna go away.
Nope.
It's just it's gonna be that thing that it's a virus. It's gonna come around. It's gonna be around for a very long time now, and it's just
Yep.
what we do to contain it now is really kind of where we're at. So.
Yeah, I mean, the only time this is really going to get controlled completely
Hmm.
is when they develop the vaccine,
Hmm.
which is going to take quite a while to get
With
out to the masses.
with it being a virus is makes it very difficult. So.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. I mean, they're making progress.
Hmm.
I know that. I know companies are making progress, but that's
Hmm.
the thing is like when you have to get it out to the masses,
Hmm.
it takes them like
Hmm.
a
It's
year,
gonna be a
year and a
while.
half.
It's
So it's
gonna.
going to be quite a while.
Yep, it's gonna be a while. That's for sure. All right, on to the next topic. Let's talk gaming. PlayStation
Let's
5 has officially released a new controller. I was on it like a jackrabbit, man. As soon as that thing posts, I seen it immediately. That wasn't getting by me. Um, and let me tell you, I'm very happy. Let's show this bad boy. That
show it off.
is the PS5. Now I'm a little upset Andre's not in this show because I think this would be a good show for him to be on, a good topic to talk about with
Correct.
him. So, but maybe we'll catch him next time. A little disappointed, but we know you gotta do these things. Um, so the new PlayStation 5 controller absolutely looks really really good to me. I wish I put the other pictures up here, but I didn't. Uh, I like it because it's different. We've had the same controller for
Mhm.
almost 20 years now.
Yep.
And I love the controller. The PS4 controller was my favorite controller of all time. I just like the way it felt in my hand. I love Xbox controller, like the Xbox One controller.
Yep.
The Xbox One controller is my favorite Xbox controller because it felt so good. But the PlayStation 5, 4 controller just felt better. Um,
Yep.
the design that they went with this is what makes me like the Xbox. Now, there's a lot of memes and jokes going around where they're like the Xbox controller making love to like the PlayStation controller and
Right.
made this baby. Um, this is a great thing for gaming, and let me explain why. And I don't know if anyone's put this concept into their mind yet. Is the more we're going through history, the more we go through time with gaming and where gaming's evolving, the more and more our controllers are becoming similar.
Yeah,
Um, and that means we're coming down to a neutral feel for all our controllers, which is
yes,
great because now they're trying to get into the gamer's heads like what's comfortable for the gamer, and they're finding this middle ground, and
yeah,
I think that's fantastic. I think that's fantastic.
mm,
Um, and especially with more and more crossplay being involved with a lot of games, it's kind of trying to do that too, so that way people can go from console to console and still feel good.
yeah,
um, I love the curve. They got rid of the light bar, but kept the light bar by putting it with the touchpad is, which is funny because they said they were going to get rid of the touchpad, and they didn't.
not surprised that they didn't.
Yeah, which I'm happy they didn't because the touchpad was used for a lot of other things. I didn't
Yes,
care about so much the touch part. Like I liked using it as a button. So um, there's a lot of new features that they add. They added a microphone built right into the controller, along with a mute button that's right there, which is awesome. So now you don't have to have a headset anymore in order to talk to people, which is a great addition, a great addition. Um, they added kind of like what the not kind of exactly like the Switch has in the Joy Cons. They added that feel into the trigger buttons on the top. Something I would have liked
yeah,
something I would have liked to see that Matt even brought up
yeah.
is I wish it had the back triggers on the bottom, but I think they're going to keep that with Pro controllers because there are a lot of people that don't like those buttons. So forcing it in a standard controller is not the greatest.
That's my only complaint, though, is that they went with the same triggers.
Yeah, I love the triggers.
You know that I hate those triggers.
Yeah, I love those triggers. I just I
I
don't know.
I don't know how.
I,
I don't know how you love the listen, like I've said it numerous times ad nauseum. The controller for Xbox is made for gun games. It's made for shooters. The PlayStation one made for fighting games. Absolutely. As far as PS4. So it's like that's why I always felt like, PS4 controllers had, that advantage as opposed to Xbox ones had the advantage of the shooter genre. But like that's what I just felt like. It's like if you just change the trigger to like because honestly, I love this trigger. I love these triggers. If they had changed it to like triggers like this on the Xbox, I'd have been like, I'm good. I'm set. Like the bumpers are fine on on the PlayStation 1. Bumpers are totally fine. Just the freaking triggers feel so weird to me. And it's like I just can't do it. Like I've tried to play shooters. I've tried to play Overwatch and stuff. And it's just a pain and stuff. So I just wish that's the only gripe I have with the controllers. Like I wish they had changed the triggers. Even if it's like feather trigger. Like if there's an option for feather trigger on that, then it might work a little better.
hmm
If there isn't, then it's gonna be the same thing as the PS4 controller as far as the triggers.
hmm hmm
But that's my only complaint. Other than that, I think it looks great. I think it's obviously absolutely PlayStation Xbox hybrid. It's going to feel comfortable. Adding the microphone into the controller, I agree,
hmm
is a great thing. You don't have to buy a headset. You can still if you want, but I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
I love it. I think it's sleek. I think it's going to fit nicely. It's going to be very comfortable. So
Another one of my favorite things that I love about this,
yes.
the two tone.
Oh, the two tone.
Yeah. Greg
Yeah,
Miller hates it. He was like, "Oh, I just want it to be one color." I love that they went with the two tone.
here's the thing. Like I like the two tone because it gives it a different look
Yes, a
rather
hundred
than
percent.
the normal generic all white controller
Mhm,
or all black controller.
mhm, mhm,
Like it gives it a very unique look
Yep.
to it.
Yep. So I'm wondering if they did this just so that way you can see the uniqueness to it, or if this is going to be
Maybe
the standard. Because they've done that. PlayStation has done that. They've showed a picture of like, oh, this is what our controller looks like, and it's not the solid color that it's going to be.
right.
They've done that before. They've done colors that weren't on release and stuff. But just say this is. Does that mean we're getting a two-toned PlayStation?
We'll have to wait and see on that one.
I would love that.
It makes me think that it's going to be the system is going to be mainly white,
I love that.
which
I love
would be
that.
a total change to PlayStation because normally all their systems are black
Yep.
or come out, or well, except for the original. It's the
which
only
is
exception.
which is great. Yep. I would love for it to come out white. I would absolutely love for it to come out. Start it right away white. I love the white consoles, and there's some people that don't like it. It would be great if they give you an option right from the start. That would be cool.
Two different. Well, I mean, that would be lovely. Two different designs would be always a good thing
Mhm.
because now you have different options.
Mhm.
Because some people don't like, a lot of people don't like the like all white system
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
all black system.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean, I think it would be a good idea. Gives options.
Yep.
Kind of look. The Switch did that on launch.
Yep.
I mean, is it the same basic system? Yeah, but depending on which one you got, you either got the neon red and blue Joy Cons or the all gray Joy Cons
Yep.
and stuff. So they gave us options, and it worked nicely.
Mhm.
So definitely give options.
I like that.
People
I
like
like that.
options.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But all in all, I'm very impressed. I like it. I'm happy with what they did. So,
Yep.
so far, kudos PlayStation. So far I'm happy.
Yes.
Um, okay, next topic. Final Fantasy VII Remake. All right, so as everyone knows, Final Fantasy VII will be out in T minus 5 hours.
5 hours.
5 hours and 10 minutes. Um, very excited for that. Can't wait. I'm getting frustrated because I'm seeing on Facebook some of them are picking up their digital copies already, which is going right through me. But that's okay because I'd rather have my digital copy anyways. So, um,
Yeah.
but very excited. All in all, the reviews have been pretty decent for it. They've been 8 and up minus one of the ones that you read, Kyle. That was a 7.
So digital trends gave it a 6 out of 10.
Mhm.
The reasonings, we read them, and I went kind of nitpicking, I think, a little bit. I'll read it. I'll read them off again for everybody. So their negatives were that the combat attempts to be too much at once. That's bullshit. Because we played the demo. I don't think it's too much.
Mhm.
Level design boils down to corridors, platforms, and staircases, which isn't that generally the game to begin with? Like in the original one, you
Yeah,
played.
yeah, 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 yep, yep.
Yeah, so like that's just the same. So we can cross that one off. And then the third one was extremely linear gameplay with little exploration. I figured you could talk on that one because I'm like that just sounds kind of ridiculous.
So the thing about the thing about Final Fantasy VII, right, is everyone was
Yeah,
looking for a brand new game, right? Which we knew we were going to get a brand new game, but the game as the main functions still has to be somewhat the same. It's the
correct.
game itself has got to hold its integrity. You could take the whole game and change it all around if you really really wanted to, but then again, would it be Final Fantasy VII?
Right.
So they wanted to keep, the hardcore Final Fantasy VII fans happy in heart. And I think from what I seen in the demo is what I seen. I felt it and I liked it. So I'm very
Yes.
interested to see where we go. But Final Fantasy VII was open world without being open world. We like to call it the God of War open world kind of like
Correct.
aspect. You can go anywhere you want, but you couldn't do everything you wanted. Very
Right.
limited on what you could do. That was Final Fantasy VII back in the day. I'm sure they added a lot more, but I don't think we're up in that open world part of things yet. You got to remember we're in Midgar, right? So a part
Yeah.
of being in Midgar is you can't go everywhere. They got to keep it very centered. You are a rebel that's running around a city that you're wanted because you're blowing up reactors. That's so you can't go anywhere you want. So
Right.
um, they have to limit you, and that seems to be what some people's bitch is. They want to be able to do whatever they want when they want. This isn't Zelda. This isn't Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? This
Right.
isn't The Witcher. Like, everyone's got to remember that type of thing. That this game is still got to stay core to what it's supposed to do. Um,
Yep.
a lot of things that people of complimented on, besides the one article that you had, everyone else had nothing but praise to say is the fighting. The fighting was the premiere. That was the number one favorite thing across all of it was the fighting. Everyone loved the combat in it and how well it played, how well the menus worked within it and everything else. So that's fantastic. I'm happy to see that because that was the thing that I was worried about most.
Right.
Another thing, visually, everyone's very impressed visually. So that's great. I didn't read much into the story because I purposely didn't do that because I didn't want the story to be ruined for me.
Understandable.
I very lightly skimmed across uh, as far as like what people were like what reviews I was going to read. So I was very light with it. And what I've read so far, everyone said like they really liked the story. The story had a lot of additions to it. It went in a lot of different ways that didn't go in the first one, and they liked that. So you got to learn more about more characters
Yeah.
than you typically would. So that's fantastic.
I mean, I'm excited. Like this is going to be my first Final Fantasy game that
Hmm.
I will play.
I'm excited for you.
And um what was I going to say? So like the thing with the remakes too is that you have to keep it to its core and then like you keep it to its core to an extent. Now, I will say this. Again, the remakes should not be like open world. This again, these are remakes.
Yeah, that's like Resident Evil. Like, why isn't Resident Evil open world?
Right. Like I was gonna say Resident Evil 3.
Mhm,
Like, all right, so I understand, and me and Dooley were talking about this. I understand people are kind of getting upset with Resident Evil 3 because it's only a 6-hour campaign.
mhm,
I get it. It's short. And a lot of people are thinking like it doesn't have a lot of replayability. That's why they threw Resident Evil Resistance with the game.
mhm.
So I understand that. And I understand, Resident Evil 3 comes out a year after Resident Evil 2 came out, which realistically, the two campaigns for Resident Evil 2 are fairly short as well. But it was still a phenomenal game.
No, I love the game.
Regardless, like yes, you could play as Claire and Leon in two separate uh, campaigns
Mhm.
and two separate tracks, and that combines it into a longer game because you have to play both
Because you have
ends.
to play both. Yep, yep, yep.
Right, but if you play it solely one, they're short.
Mhm,
Those campaigns are short
mhm.
because
Would you say each campaign was probably maybe 15 hours each?
for Resident Evil 2,
Yeah,
good question.
yeah. Maybe.
I'd have to look up what the average is.
Mhm,
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I did a few streams of it, and it didn't take me too long. I mean, it's going to be sounds like it's going to be a little bit longer than Resident Evil 3,
mhm.
which I get, but you know, I haven't heard anything like totally bad about it. Like people are just complaining about like, oh, like, replayability. It's Resident Evil. People are going to replay
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I
People are
mean,
going. Resident Evil heads are going to replay this game,
yeah.
especially if it's good. And so far with the I didn't want to play a demo, but like I kind of got misleaded by our friend Albert because he told me that the demo didn't really have anything to do with the actual game. So I went, oh, okay, so I'll go try it. And then I played it and I'm like, oh, this has to do with the game.
Yeah,
Great. So I kind of got misleaded in that one, but whatever. Um, I mean, Nemesis is nuts,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely nuts. So it's going to be much more difficult as far as dealing with Nemesis as opposed to dealing with Mr. X.
Mhm,
I will say that.
mhm,
But I mean, would I have liked to hear that Resident Evil 3? I'm gonna start playing it by the way, like probably either tomorrow or this weekend. Um, would I have liked to hear it be a little bit longer? Obviously, of course, yes. Would I have like a little bit more content? Yes, obviously, I would. Um, that's why it was kind of weird when it was getting released a year after Resident Evil 2. But I mean, I do want to try Resistance.
mhm,
Um, and again, I have not played Resident Evil 3.
mhm.
So Resident Evil 3 is going to be a brand new Resident Evil for me.
Mhm.
So the only one that's going to be left for me to play is the original one.
Mhm.
So I'm still excited to play it. I think it's still going to be fun. But back to the point, yes, as far as remakes go, you need to keep it like to a core and
Mhm.
have that, Resident Evil or Final Fantasy vibe to it that made it you know, made it so popular back in the day.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so
Yep.
combat's fine. I think the combat's fine. It has that little like hack and slash feel, not as like ridiculous as Bayonetta and like Ninja Gaiden, but it still has that hack and slash feel to it
Mhm.
and stuff, and
Mhm.
it's still gonna work nicely. So
Mhm. Um. Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I'm just debating if I'm going to stay up till midnight and play it for a little while before I go.
I would be shocked if you didn't.
I'm debating it. I'm debating it. So it's gonna see how I feel tonight, but definitely grind that out once that game's released. So that's it. Unless there was anything else you wanted to add about Final Fantasy.
I'm excited again. First Final Fantasy, and I know you're happy for me. It's gonna
Definitely.
be a good time. It's gonna be a good time.
Question: did we talk about another game that's being remade? Not remade, but remastered. Um, for that's coming out. I don't remember when they announced it, so that's why I'm not too sure. I think
I'm brain farting.
Saints Row.
Oh, we did not talk about Saints Row.
So we didn't do that last week, right?
I don't believe we talked about Saints Row.
Okay.
Oh, we
I'm gonna do
may.
it anyways because
We'll do it anyway.
I can't remember if we did it or not. So huge huge announcement. I think it was just this weekend, so it had to be after last week's show. Saints Row the Third, which is my favorite Saints Row game, is getting remastered. And typical remasters are okay. They're revamping all the graphics and everything. It looks like a PS4 game. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm debating if that's something that I want or not, but I think I do because that was like my favorite Saints Row, and I think it was the classic. It's what put Saints Row on the map. Saints Row Third, without a doubt, is what put Saints Row on the map.
I wish I've played a Saints Row game because they look nuts.
So if
It
this,
looks really over the top.
well,
Like,
that was the thing. Like, what was great about Saints Row the Third is when I played it. That was when it was important for you to play a game that was unique, like when it first came out, because then no other game that's like it. So you get that nostalgia of like, oh my God, this is amazing, because it's the first time that game's ever done that. And
right.
Saints Row took a game that you thought was going to be serious, right? It's going to be
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto, and just added a bunch of random stuff to it. Just
Flipped
a
it all around.
and I had no idea when I got into Saints Row. Like I had no idea, but like immediately you're jumping from a plane and going through. They immediately they started off crazy, like immediately, and I'm like, what the hell? And then as you go through the game, it's gradually like when you're like, oh, this game can't get any crazier. They just
Mhm.
go, it goes crazier, and like the zombies, like they took the whole island that turned to zombies, and I was just like, what in the like this is the most random thing. And then
Yes.
I'm not gonna ruin it, but the end is it was the kicker, and you're just like, what is going? Like your mind was blown at the end. Like, did they really just add this to this game? So all in all, like I'm super stoked that they're doing it. It's not a game that I thought that was going to get it. So
Yep.
to have that those two things mesh, like not knowing and not thinking about it, is fantastic. Bless you.
Yes.
So like hearing that announced, I was just like, yeah, that's awesome.
About to say it's a nutty game. It's
Mhm.
definitely a nutty game.
Mhm.
For sure.
Mhm.
What I've seen. There's
Mhm.
some nutty items.
Yeah, I definitely suggest if you didn't play it to try to get into it, just because it's crazy. It's crazy.
I may try. I may dabble.
Mhm.
I'm just not a huge fan of like the GTA like engine type thing. But I know it's not GTA. I know it's
Mhm.
not GTA.
Mhm. Um, and like that game too. Like I did a lot with side quests. Like a lot of side quests with that.
Nice.
So like stealing cars. Like there's a mission that you steal all the cars. So I went around looking for cars.
Yeah.
Uh, than getting all like you had to kill certain people, rob certain people. Like it was so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah. But all right, next topic. Uh, Xbox conference. Xbox inside Xbox review, should I say? Sorry.
Yes.
You want to start this one off since Andre's not
Somewhat.
here?
So it was somewhat interesting.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoy. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good. It was pretty good. It was
What?
pretty good. Like Andre was kind of like giving a lot of flack, but like I watched it and I was like, well, it's not that bad. Like, all right, so let's put it this way: the big game that they announced, or not announced, or they were talking about during it was Grounded.
Mhm.
Um, Basically, if you don't know what Grounded is, you are a person, child, whatever, that has been shrunk down to the size or smaller than an ant. And basically, you're in your backyard and you explore this vast world in your backyard, but you have to. And the goal of the game is to return yourself to normal size, obviously. And the problem is the machine is broken, so you have to fix the machine itself.
Mhm.
Um, all kinds of enemies. There's spiders, there's ants, all and every bug is trying to kill you. Let's put it
Mhm.
that way.
Mhm.
Every bug in the yard is trying to kill you. You build a fort pretty much. You can build it with like webs and leaves and things to protect yourself with. There's like I think there's like a stink bug in the game, so you make like a mask to protect yourself from stink bugs.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's a
Yeah.
crazy, crazy game.
It looks fun. It looks really fun.
Oh yeah.
So I'm
It,
very interested in seeing it. I'm glad they showed a lot.
yeah, they showed a lot of that game.
Yeah, they showed a lot of like it looks like customization is going to be a very big part of that game.
Yep. Yep. It's kind of weird. It's gonna have like a mission like to complete the game,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it's kind of like a builder game as well.
Mhm.
So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like it's kind of got the like adventure, like an adventure style Animal Crossing type game.
Yeah.
Uh, and it is coming to early access on to Xbox Game Preview, I should say, and Steam Early Access on July 28th, which it still kind of annoys me that I see Steam Early Access for
We'll get used to it.
the games. Oh my goodness.
We'll get used to it.
The next thing they talked a little bit about the technology behind the Xbox Series X. Um, Basically, while previously known, I'll read the part of the article. Xbox's Jason Ronald was interviewed by Xbox Live Director of Programming, Major Nelson, all about the upcoming Xbox Series X. While previously known specifications were revealed, the main point both wanted to stress was that you need to store Xbox Series X titles on the internal solid state drive or Seagate expansion card due to the performance requirements. You can still play Xbox One games from other external hard drives. So they are pretty much limiting your storage as for what you need to store it. As far as like it's either in this SSD in the internal one, or you have to get the Seagate Xbox expansion card that you can put in the system, which kind of stinks because now you can't like I have an external hard drive for my Xbox One upstairs, like a big one. It says you can still use those, but you can't install Series X titles on those external hard drives. It's narrowed down to the Seagate one and the internal.
So the point of that is going to be and I'm betting they're going to come out with a patch to allow that. Because before you couldn't even use external hard drives at all, even with the PS4,
True.
and so you can always patch that. I think the purpose of that is because the first thing they're trying to show is speed. So
True.
if you have like a regular hard drive that's external, you're going to see a dramatic difference in speed. So it's going to
Yep.
have a lot to do with, hey, listen, we want you to get see the best performance. We don't want you blaming our console speed on something that because that's what people do. That's what people do.
Very true.
So I believe that as soon as they said that and they showed that immediately, that's what I thought of.
Yeah,
So I wasn't upset with that at all. And plus on release, there's not going to be a whole lot of Series X1 games.
there's not going to be any exclusives.
Right. So like, it's not like you're going to be, buying crazy games that you can't fit them all on your hard drive anyways.
Hmm. Very true. Very true. Very true.
So, excuse me.
Let's see. All right. So after a little Series X talk,
Not a whole
uh,
lot.
not a whole lot. I was actually surprised because I thought they had said they weren't going to talk any Series X stuff, but they did. So I was kind of surprised.
Mhm.
Um, they announced new games coming to Xbox Game Pass, which two of them are Football Manager 2020, Journey to the Savage Planet. But the main one that was announced was Yakuza Kiwami, the beginning of the popular franchise, which is coming to the service at a later date. Hopefully, it'll be towards the end of April or the beginning of May. So, Yakuza Kiwami is going to Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, something I want to bring up with the Xbox Series X. Did you see
Yep.
what they were demoing for a tech demo?
Gears 5.
Interesting. Just
I
want to
did
say
see
that.
that.
I just
I
want to
did.
say that. Very
Why do you say
interesting.
it was interesting? Because you think they're going to say Gear 6?
Uh, they're either going to announce a Gear 6 or they're going to come out with a remastered version of Gears 5 specifically for this Xbox.
Oh, I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised. I would
So,
not be surprised. But plus, I also think that if they did do that, maybe they'll be able to fix some of the things that Gears 5 was kind of like on. Like a lot of parts in the campaign were kind of glitchy.
mhm,
I'm not gonna lie, that game was very glitchy in a lot of aspects in the campaign. It just never got fixed. I don't know why.
mhm,
Story's great.
mhm,
Story is still great, but it'll be interesting to see what they do, especially that now that Rod and I forgot the other guy's name now already. But basically, the multiplayer director left,
mhm,
which we talked about last week. So it's going to be
mhm,
very interesting.
mhm.
But speaking of Gears,
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, wait, wait.
oh, bam, there it is. It has returned. Yeah. Speaking of Gears, um, Gears Tactics was confirmed for Xbox One, which I was shocked, and is coming to the console later this year. So I was actually surprised because they had pushed the shit out of this to the point where they said it was a PC game.
Mhm,
I was like, oh, this is going to be a PC game, but at least I got a PC now. But they confirmed it for Xbox One. It's coming to the console later this year. And the action also focuses on, okay, well, this answered a question that I had for the game. And I thought they would kind of get a little more deeper about this, but apparently they're not going to. The action focuses on Nate Diaz, which the I think wait, was it Nate? Hold on. I need to
Yeah, it was
um
Nate Diaz.
it was Nate. Okay, it
Yeah,
was Nate.
because the name stuck out to me because it reminded me of a character from a show. I mean, it
Well,
reminded me of a UFC fighter.
yes, that's why I was like, I was making sure I didn't get the didn't want to confuse the two.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nate Diaz, who is the father of Kate. So that the story focuses around him. So that
Which
answered
is
the question.
a spoiler.
Yep. So that answered the whole question. I was like, I've been thinking like, who was Kate's dad and what happened and all this other shit. I was trying to figure out, and then they just said, "Oh, here he is."
Yeah.
So it's like, well, you could have kind of had a little deeper thing to that with him. They might do something deeper with him in Gear 6. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to be in this game. So because we don't know if he's dead or alive.
Now, my question is, the bad guy that they're introducing in this game, has he been ever introduced into any of the Gears series?
I don't believe so. No, because it was
So I'm loving this because this is the bad guy that supposedly created all the creatures that you see in the games.
well, the bad guy, the big bad guy is actually a Cantus. And for the people that don't know this, Cantuses were in Gears 2 and 3. Basically, Cantuses were creatures that could revive downed locusts that if you put them down, or they could actually summon tickers randomly. And you can either shoot the tickers or kill the Cantus, and then all the tickers will explode. But basically, the Cantus is a creator,
Mhm.
and this is like the main Cantus
Mhm.
that like created a lot of things. Like if you look at him right there, yeah, that's he's a Cantus.
Mhm.
Oh, Alucard's okay. So, so it's very interesting that they put a like hard, like core, like big boy Cantus
Mhm.
as the enemy. So it's very interesting. For people that don't know, Gears Tactics is going to play like XCOM or Mario plus Rabbids. It is a turn-based strategy game. So I really liked Mario plus Rabbids, so more than likely I'm going to play this. But again, got confirmed for Xbox One later this year. But it will be coming out for PC on Xbox. I think Game Pass for PC and Steam. Why? Why? Like when I saw that, I don't want to go bananas about this, and I really wish Andre was here, even though he doesn't care.
Mhm.
But like when I saw that, I'm like, it's Gears. Can we have something sacred on an Xbox that should just be only Xbox that you can play it on that? Even if it's for Windows, Windows is still Microsoft, so they still own it.
Right. Right.
When they put it on Steam, I went, "Oh my god!" I was just, I shook my head. I'm like, they're really just being the new Ubi,
Yeah.
whoring themselves out to everybody. So
They really are.
I don't know. That's why I'm like, why even make a system?
Mhm.
Like they're kind of getting into the Sega situation where Sega went from making systems and then they just went, it's not working anymore. People stopped buying the systems and everything, and they just went to solely making games. Microsoft might as well just start doing that, honestly.
Mhm.
So, but they have technology, so I get it.
Yeah. 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 Like it's
So I don't know. The next thing that they announced is Project X Xploud. Now I'm talking Pokemon now. Project X Cloud is expanding to Japan and other territories and getting new games like Dragon Age Inquisition, Unravel 2, and The Sims 4. Also, I did read that Japan and South Korea are finally getting Game Pass Ultimate on April
Yep.
14th as well.
Yep.
So finally, you can get that in in Japan and South Korea and the Asian area. Um, and then they talked a little bit about Journey to the Savage Planet newest DLC, and then they showed off a game that was being made by a small team of creators that were making freaking No Man's Sky.
Yep. Yep. This is. I'm very excited for this game. This game looks really good, and it seems like it's gonna hit you right in the feels.
Oh, this is absolute feels game.
Mhm.
The absolute feels game, and it's called The Last Campfire. Um, I I was trying to remember what the backstory was. I'm trying to think of like what vibe I have from the game,
Like as far as like what you thought, other
what
than
I
what
could
they described
like
it as,
what I could compare it to.
Limbo.
True. Yep. Limbo.
It's very Limbo-ish. Besides, Limbo's a flat. It's like Limbo meets Bastion because of there is narration in it.
Yes.
Um, there's a few indie games. There's a few indie games like it. But like it like when like I love when they go through it. He finds the very first thing that he sees is like a dead version of like whatever he is, which they say in what it is, what his kind is, and then like he kind of puts his hand like on his shoulders to kind of like mourn him and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
ah man, this is gonna be a feels game, man.
Yes. Absolute feels game.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
play as Ember. That's
yep,
the main character's name. Is Ember.
yep, yep.
It's like a blue little. I don't even know what type of creature. Oh yeah. There's a release to find someone else, but he. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is gonna be total feels.
um, and like the game is being called The Last Campfire. I think their purpose is really going to be about being alone after being with people all the time. Um,
Yeah.
and because they show a lot of the when you think of a campfire, you think of gathering of people, being around, surrounded, with people you care about. So I think that's kind of where they're gonna be going with this game.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So yes,
The next thing they announced, and this is actually very interesting. If only they did this with OBS, but they won't. Xbox Game Bar on the PC will support third-party widgets now, including tools like XSplit.
I think OBS will be involved in it, because it says support third-party widgets. So OBS is a open source product.
True.
So
True.
um, I think they'll definitely make something built in for that.
Very true.
My thing is they need to make something like that for a console. These next generation consoles got to be able to project. Um, unlike it doesn't have to be remote play. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to
Correct.
be remote play because for me to be able to stream my Xbox without a capture card, I got to use
Mhm.
remote play. But then even to use the capture card, there's a lot of extra tools I need to use to be able to hear the sound. If I play in a group, like with a bunch of military people, not military, but like play like a shooter game or just a multiplayer game and we're in a group
Yeah.
chat, I got to do a bunch of different things to include their sound. Like it's a lot of work. And I never
Yeah.
realized it outside of tournament based, how inconvenient it is.
Yep.
And they make it convenient where you can do it on the console, straight from the console. But guess where the problem is there is there's no overlays. You can't design these things.
Correct.
So I think they still need to work on that. But I'm not mad yet unless this console they don't come out with something because now we're in that time. Like add them adding streaming to the PlayStation and Xbox was a fantastic feature. I thought that was awesome and I think that was huge,
Yep.
huge.
Yep.
So I think now we have to go to the next step.
I agree.
So
I agree. And then the final thing that they showed, obviously Van was very excited about, was Sea of Thieves Ships of Fortune.
when are they gonna stop? Like the game is not that popular. It really isn't. Like
A lot of people on Mixer still play it.
it's just so
A
bad, man.
lot. Ah, I'm not gonna say it's bad. I think they've improved it a lot since it came out. I just think the hype is gone. Obviously, I think the hype went away real fast on release, and that's why nobody really plays it. But a lot of people on Mixer still play it, so it's still got some following to it. And I think they have improved it a lot. It's just, am I going to start now? Probably not. And I know you had a bad experience with it, obviously.
It like it's just not. It's not for me. My thing is it has to be. I need a lot of people to be able to play it. Like
Oh,
if I
absolutely.
if I had a lot of people that could play with me on a regular basis, then I wouldn't mind it. You know what I mean? Like then it would be fine. But because I don't, like
Well, that was the main problem that we've had with it. Like some people can play it like single player, and more power to them. It's like because when I played it, I was like, damn, I would rather play this with people.
yeah, it's not fun by
True.
yourself at all. It's not fun by yourself.
Yeah, it like again, some people have fun with it. I don't personally.
Hmm.
So I would have to have a crew to be playing it with. So I mean,
Agreed.
but I think that's what happens. Like the it's died down. Like
Hmm.
this everything's died down from it.
Hmm.
So, but and that was your Inside Xbox. It
Yeah,
was still pretty good.
that was pretty much it.
All right, so there is one topic I did want to discuss that's not on here because I forgot about it until now.
I kept popping a topic in my mind too, and I wanted to say it, and then I could keep forgetting it. But go ahead.
All right, so this was interesting because we had a little debate last week about this because I had brought up we're talking Animal Crossing, by the way,
Hmm. Oh,
and
okay. So serious. Yeah, go ahead.
I said, it's a system seller, and
Hmm.
I was met with absolute disagreement from you two on this.
Well, Andre was like the middleman. I think Andre was more of the middleman because he did say he did feel like it did sell consoles too. Um,
He felt it did sell consoles, but because it was during the times that we're in right now.
right, right.
So I'm just gonna say this: Japan, not here. I'm gonna say the Japan numbers.
Hmm.
The Japanese charts came out, and it says Animal Crossing: New Horizons surpasses Mario Kart 8 Deluxe lifetime physical sales. So let me just, I'm going to say the sales numbers right now for the top three games,
Mm-hmm.
or top four, I should say, because I got rid of Mario Kart 8. So number one is Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Ultimate has a total sale in Japan of 3.6 million. Smash Bros. Is a definite system seller, yes?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Not even a question. Yep.
Pokemon Sword and Shield in Japan has a 3.5 million sales record.
So it's funny because Smash has been out for 2 years, roughly a year and a half. We'll
No,
call it a year and
you're
a half. We'll call it a year and a half because it came out,
right,
December time. So, um, my roundups is hard roundup. So, um,
right,
I'm like, oh, it's a month over. Yeah, it's 2 years. Um,
right.
but no, it's a year and a half. So, and then Pokemon has been out for how many months?
Since November. So, yeah, December, January,
And
February,
it's
March, for 4 months.
and it's only what 0.1 million away.
It's at 3.5 million. Yeah, it's less than a million away.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but that's Pokemon in 5 months.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe first because this is Animal Crossing. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been out for going to be on 3 years this
Mm-hmm.
month
Mm-hmm.
at 2.85 million units sold in
Mm-hmm.
Japan. Animal Crossing has been out for 21 days or 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
No, 20 days. Tomorrow will be 21. For 20 days, the sales for Animal Crossing after 20 days is 3.031 million units.
I still don't.
20
I
days.
I think, but again, like in Japan, right, where the
Yeah.
virus hit first and the worst. So my point being, like, minus all that,
Wait a minute.
um,
Yeah.
not first, but where the cases dramatically, where
Right.
we kind of
Yes. Yes.
people keep blaming Japan, cut it out. Um,
China, Japan. Yeah.
yeah, China, yeah, stop it. um, but I guarantee you those numbers will never, even though how fast it reached that number, because I mean that's impressive. You know what I mean? Like that's fantastic.
20 days in. That's a million units sold per week.
Yeah. So,
Per week.
but with saying that, um, I guarantee you it will still not catch up to Smash Brothers or even Pokemon.
We have to see.
I bet you it won't. Like,
All right, well, all right. Let's put it this way. I'll say it like this then. If it doesn't catch up to them, the reason why is because nobody can buy a Switch right now, unless it's a Switch Lite.
but see, no, like, there's no, that's not, yeah, no, that's not.
That's
To
a
me,
factor.
that wouldn't be a reason though, because what about they already sold 3.6, so it's already possible that 3.6 million can be sold. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's
it's
Smash Bros. In a
but
year and a half. Not even.
right, right. That's what I'm saying. So if they can't get up to 3.6 at all, then
Yeah.
that's it. To me, that's a sign saying that this virus had the biggest part of that sale.
So
If it doesn't reach that.
so let me ask you this then though.
Mhm.
If that's the case, why didn't Pokemon's things go up more? And why did Smash Bros. Sales go up more?
Well, Smash has been out for a year and a half, so that's the
I mean, I
reason for
get
that.
that. I mean,
And
I get
then
that.
and then Pokemon, now Animal Crossing be the newest thing. Like,
I
a
know I get it's the newest thing, but you
but
still have Pokemon. That's hugely popular. It's
but
their most
I,
popular.
I'm curious on how much, because that's a dude 3.6. I mean 3.5. That number's
Mhm.
huge for Pokemon for those amount of time. I guarantee you a
No, it is.
majority. I guarantee you a majority of those sales weren't out for release. Majority of those sales spiked up during the coronavirus.
We'd have to check.
You know
We'd
what I
have to
mean?
check on the sales between January and now.
Right.
But 3.3 million in 20 days is insane.
No, that's those numbers.
That's that's system selling numbers, no question. And I get it's the newest game, but let me
But
like. But I'm gonna say
it being new though don't really have a factor on it. Like, I said it, but it don't. To me, it being new isn't an excuse to get those numbers. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
you can have another new game and it's not going to reach numbers like that.
Let's put it
Uh,
this way, and I have full confidence in saying this. If this was a new Mario game, I don't think it's hitting those numbers in
oh,
2020.
I think so.
I don't. I did. Well, let me put it this way. I'd have to look up Odyssey's sales numbers then. At that point,
Uh,
because it's not even up here.
yeah, but
Odyssey.
again, it's tough because like my whole debate is, and it's still I still haven't been proven otherwise, is that the virus has the biggest this not the virus um the not being able to leave your house, the quarantine plays the biggest part in those sales, and like to me I
But
still
these are
feel that.
physical sales. These
Yeah,
are physical sales.
yeah,
So they
but
have to leave the house to get it,
right, right, but then they can order from Amazon
or
and
they can
get it.
order in Amazon. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So come on, man. That's what you're still working.
this is
you
true.
you're still sending out packages.
This is
Um,
true.
but yeah, no, that's like again, like my debate is it a reason why people are buying Switches like that. A game can sell tremendously and not be a reason why people would buy a system. People, to me, like Animal Crossing is I own the system and I would buy the game. So, for example, I wouldn't have bought the Switch because of Animal Crossing. I bought Animal Crossing because I have the Switch.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of other people feel that same way, but that's just my opinion. Now, I'm an old folk guy, like, but the GameCube, no one was buying GameCube because of Animal Crossing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so if anyone's buying, Animal Crossing now is because of the old Animal Crossing.
Well, that's not true because I hated the old Animal Crossing.
No, but because of how popular it was, and they know what the expectations can be for the game and how much more it can be. So I feel like the old Animal Crossing played a major part in that. You didn't buy it because you liked the old Animal Crossing. You bought it because you understood what the expectations of that old Animal Crossing was and where it could go now.
Right.
And especially because of what the Switch could provide for it.
Right.
So, but like my debate is not so much if it's a likable game. Like, oh hell yeah, that's a likable game. Like I knew it's a likable game, but I just don't see anyone running out personally and buying a Switch for it. But again, I could be wrong. Like,
That is where you're wrong, though. All right, because I'm gonna tell you this. Like I told you last week, I had a friend who bought a Switch, and the first game they bought was
yeah,
Animal
not
Crossing.
not no one, not no one, but like, you know, I just think
My
the numbers are very very low.
Well, let's put it this way. My friend from New Zealand had a
Mm,
birthday stream the other day. People donated money so she could buy a Switch. You know what game she wanted to play first? Animal Crossing.
right, right. But again,
It's
like,
a system seller. There,
uh,
I Those aren't the only two that are going out there saying I want a Switch so I can play Animal Crossing. There are a ton of people who probably don't have a Switch that are looking at Animal Crossing and like I want Animal Crossing.
that's good.
So it's my point is it is a system seller. It's always been a system seller. It is a very popular title. The reason why we somewhat think that is because like that's not our real cup of tea, those games. But I mean, I'm enjoying Animal Crossing.
You know what's funny?
So
You
yeah.
kn- you know something, and you're gonna hate me saying this. You know what's a system seller?
What?
Fortnite.
Oh God.
Fortnite. There are
Uh,
people are going out there buying consoles for Fortnite.
which kind of disgusts me because it's like you literally could play Fortnite on your phone when you get a phone or something like that. It's like, ugh.
Don't you think it's funny that this pandemic happened
What do you mean?
right at tax season?
Here we
Oh,
go with the conspiracies.
What a way to end the year.
conspiracies. I've heard that it's a bio weapon. I
Yeah,
heard I heard the coronavirus was a bio weapon.
yeah, yeah. I've heard that
So
too.
it's a whole Resident Evil right now. Um but anyway, just wanted to bring that up. Being my point
Yeah,
being it's a system seller.
yeah. It's a lot of copies.
It is a lot of copies. In a 20-day span, it's a lot of copies.
Is that you said that was Japan only though?
That was Japan only. I don't know what the US sales are. I'll have to look up the US sales if I can find them.
Because Japan though they like weird games. Not saying Animal Crossing is weird, but they like that is their culture over there. Their culture is a lot different than the United States culture as far as their taste
Well, yes.
in things. In games is one of those things.
Well, yes.
Like they get into those what do they call them? Like the storytelling stuff. Like not storytelling, like yeah, the storytelling games and stuff like, and not I'm not talking about like what is it called? Not talking about like the Walking Dead games or the Batman games. Like they like the um relationship games where you're like playing to get into a relationship and stuff like that,
Right. No, I understand that. I totally understand that.
which is weird.
But Animal Crossing is a huge. All right. So in total sales, oh no, this is just okay. Never mind.
We'll
All right,
do the research and then
I'll
find
have
it
to.
for next
Yeah,
week
I'll have to find it.
because I'm very curious on what the total sales are. Um, wise, like, do you think Mario's bigger in Japan than it is around the world?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, where do you think Mario's bigger, in Japan or in the United States?
I think it's equal.
Yeah.
I think it's equal because everybody in let's put it this way: you say video games, the first thing people are thinking is Mario.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like if you don't know anything about video games, the first thing they're thinking is Mario.
I mean, even with me, um, the first thing I think of is Mario.
Right.
You know
So
what I mean?
it's like oof. I'm seeing 3.03. That might just be U.S. sales. All right, I'll have to do research. I'm gonna have to do research on it because that didn't make sense. Because they said Japan had passed 3 million, and it's 3 million on Wikipedia
Mhm.
right now. Maybe it's 3 million here too. Who knows?
That'd be interesting.
Um, that would be interesting. All right.
There was something else that I wanted to bring up that it kept lingering in my head. I was like, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. And instead of writing it down, I forgot.
It happens. It happens. I brain fart a lot.
I get so mad when I do that.
I feel that.
I just can't remember if it's about a specific game
Hmm.
or if it was just about like a topic. You know what I mean? Like just a topic in general.
Yeah, I mean that happens all the time. I was like, I have a thought, and if I don't write it down,
Mhm.
like I'll just completely forget about it, and then so I have to like write everything down.
Yeah, no, that's
Right.
how bad I'm getting.
We're losing it.
Yeah. No,
Ron is making us lose
I've lost it a long time ago.
it.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna look on GameSpot, see what else we got for news.
Well, we have one more topic to discuss.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. I forgot we still had another topic. Go ahead.
Yes, we have the main topic of today. I'm just switching something up right now. So, a major announcement happened last week. IGN announces Summer of Gaming event in June. Which is big because this is IGN doing all this, and
Hmm.
that's big for them, obviously. IGN is proud to announce our new Summer of Gaming event, a global digital event set to begin this June to bring you the latest news and impressions around upcoming games and the next generation of console hardware. IGN will be collaborating with a number of partners for the Summer of Gaming, including 2K, Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, Amazon, Google Stadia, Twitter, okay, Devolver Digital, THQ Nordic, and more. Expect more details in the coming weeks. The event will include live broadcasts and on demand programming featuring IGN's editorial coverage of the work of game developers from around the world. So, they actually did talk about it. With E3 2020 canceled, IGN has a suite of programming planned to kick off in early June. It includes publisher presentations with IGN pre and post discussions, remote developer interviews, hands on demos, and preview impressions, gameplay, and news segments, recapping the biggest announcements. So, here's your replacement for E3. Your thoughts?
Um, I think it's going to be awesome. I think we need something considering that we aren't having an E3. So
Yep.
I think this is important, and I think IGN's seen how important it was. And as much as, I make fun of IGN and shit on them and whatnot, and we
Right.
talk about them like they are a very crucial part of gaming,
Yep.
in gaming history. So I think it is important, and this right here, the actions that they're doing, um, really symbolizes that their place in the gaming universe. So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome that they're using their ability and their power to put something like this together, and they realize how important they are in the gaming industry and that they can do something like this.
Yes.
So
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, that's it. I would be lying if I didn't say that IGN is the biggest, news platform in gaming.
mm,
I mean, you have GameSpot, you have all these other sites, but IGN is, when you think of gaming news, they're pretty much the cream of the crop.
yep.
So,
Yep.
I mean, this is huge. Like, gamers were hoping for something like this when June rolled around
Mhm.
to replace whatever was going to happen with E3. We thought maybe, you know, the Electronic Expo people would, do something digital by themselves for it, but seems like they're not. Seems like IGN stepped up to the plate, reached out to all these developers and got them to be able to come up with presentations, and it's going to be all digital.
Mhm.
Um, which now again brings up the question: is this how much will this hurt E3?
E3 is so stupid because they had more power than everybody else to be able to do something like this and capitalize on it, and they didn't, and now they're gonna
Nope.
miss out, and it's Toys R Us all over again.
Oh yeah, yeah. That is the absolute best comparison you can bring up, especially with all the companies that they've already said: 2K, Square, Sega, Bandai Namco, and what's it, Devolver Digital. Like those are big, big, big studio, big companies and
Mhm.
developers
Mhm.
that are coming the to this digital presentation
Mhm.
for IGN.
Mhm.
So basically, IGN just said E3, we're just going to step in and take all your stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
It would be very interesting to see if like special guests come on, like Jeff Keighley or other news people, maybe Andrea Renee, probably not, but um,
No, I could see Greg. Cause Greg Miller. Don't forget that's where he comes from.
yes, it's true.
Um. So
I could go there.
So that whole kind of funny crew, they all used to work for IGN.
Yeah,
So like I have no doubt that they have something to do with it.
and I'm just wondering what the other studios are going to be. If they're just going to be like indie studios, will they get like a bigger company? Because obviously the notable ones you don't see are Microsoft, Sony,
Mhm.
Nintendo. Because I
Mhm.
think obviously they're going to do their own thing.
Mhm.
They're going to do their complete own thing in June. June is still going to be a hot, hot, hot month
Mhm.
for gaming news. People are going to be expecting it, and they're going to deliver.
Yep.
And I'm glad that they brought all these third party studios into this.
I,
So it's going to be interesting to see.
I
So,
agree. I agree.
so I'm wondering if we should have any predictions for this. Maybe
You said it's in June, right?
it's in June.
Yeah. So like as we start to get closer and stuff, like we can start building up every week into something like it and kind of build up to it.
Yeah, we'll have to see like what the other companies are doing.
Mhm.
Like, well, I know didn't Ubi come out and say they were going to do something? Trying to remember if Ubi did.
Or did they? No, they came out and said they weren't going to do anything. No, no, that was Bethesda.
That was Bethesda. I know Bethesda's out.
Yeah,
Bethesda's been
yeah, Bethesda said that they weren't going to do anything.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So as of March 11th, Ubisoft is looking into a digital experience to replace its E3 presentation. So they're looking into it, but I
Mhm.
would not be surprised if all these people jump on with IGN that they will be like, "Hey, we'll come
Mhm.
and do it."
Yeah, you'll
So
see publishers. I don't think you'll see so much PlayStation and Xbox, but you'll see publishers.
you'll see all the third party, not all the third party, but you'll see most of the third party
Yep.
studios come in
Yep.
and talk about what's going to be coming their way in the coming months.
Yep. Yep.
So huge announcement by IGN. Huge announcement.
Mhm. I agree.
All right, mark that complete. All right. Any other things that we can discuss? Did you remember what you were thinking about?
No, and that's what I've been trying to do the entire time. And I just went through all of GameStop stuff, and I
Yeah.
didn't see anything on
Hmm.
that. Let me try. Let me try IGN. See if I see anything sticking out on the IGN.
Well, that's interesting. So
What's
an
that?
hour ago, it says Cyberpunk 2077's DLC announcement is coming before the game drops, which that is extremely weird.
Oh, yep, yep. Just that just came out. Yep.
The Batman Director reveals.
Universal extends closure of Orlando Hollywood parks.
Not surprised.
New World, Amazon's upcoming MMO delayed to August.
Oh, jeez. So Amazon's got an MMO. That's lovely. Is it weird? Yeah, it's gonna be weird with like Amazon getting into gaming now. So now you got Google into gaming, Amazon into gaming, Apple's into gaming,
Yep, yep.
and Google can't even get their shit together with
Nope.
that stuff.
Um, that's it. I can't find anything else. No news on the Mario thing.
Now, any third-party studios that you would like to hear announced for Summer of Play that has not been said.
Like announced?
Well, let's put it this way. Like we said, Square, we said 2K, we said Sega, we said Bandai Namco, Amazon, Stadia, Twitter, Devolver Digital, THQ Nordic, and it just says and more. So there's some notables that aren't there. I know one studio I'd like to see.
What's that?
Platinum Games.
Okay.
I would like to see Platinum Games because they've had that whole website where they had like 5 different games that they were going to be announcing that they were going to be releasing. Well, not releasing, but like, showing off to the world.
Mm,
I'd like to see Platinum get in this and show off more of those games
mm-hmm.
that have been teased. Another one.
Oh,
No,
I didn't. This wasn't what I was going to talk about, but when I seen this during the Xbox thing, I got hyped out, and you left it out for the Xbox thing. What game's coming to the Xbox? What was one of my favorite? What's my favorite indie game of all time?
oh, Hotline Miami.
Dude, as soon as they said the publisher's name, as soon
Hmm.
as they said it, the developer's name, I was like, no, no. And
Yep,
then as soon as they went to the telephone, I was like, oh my God, it's the Hotline collection coming to
coming
Xbox.
to
Yeah,
Xbox.
that's awesome.
Big news. Big news for Van on Xbox.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Not that you haven't played the crap out of those.
Yeah, I already have it on PlayStation, but I thought it was cool.
Ooh, excuse me. Actually, another studio I would love to see, obviously, in the summer of gaming would be Yacht Club.
Hmm. Uh, for me, Square Enix. Um, I like to
Yep.
see what they have coming up. I like to hear more now that this Final Fantasy, I'd like to start hearing about the next one because I think they should push out the other one in a year.
Should be interesting.
Yep, yep. So I'd love to see Square Enix to be there.
They're there.
Um,
Yep, they're already there.
oh, Square Enix was listed on there?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Activision, is Activision on there?
No.
Yeah, Activision's another one.
Oh, I was trying to think of another one. Shoot.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely formulate a list, see if we can get a list together.
Yes.
So, but other than that, was there anything else that you wanted to add?
I mean, FF7 out tonight, so I hope everybody that's getting it gets it. Well, and including Van, and
Mm-hmm.
plays the shit out of it because I know after tonight I will never see Van again. Oh, you know what? There is one other thing that I heard about that I wanted to talk about. Apparently, the Xbox One X is being discontinued.
Really?
Yes,
Is that why I just seen the price for 200 and something dollars for it?
it's a possibility, but I know YouTuber was talking about it.
That's weird.
Let's see if I can find anything. So there's a Reddit post says, anyone know why the Xbox One X is? Oh, it's showing us discontinued on Amazon. The console by itself. Oh, okay, so the console by itself without bundles is discontinued. There are bundled options though. Microsoft doesn't sell the console without an X. Okay, so you can't buy an Xbox One X by itself
Mm-hmm.
anymore. So yeah, they're just bundling, literally just bundling games with the Xbox One X. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did come out and they were like, yeah, so we're going to discontinue the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S so they could kind of try to get sales for the Series X when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we've talked about it numerous times, like we're not really sold on buying one like right out the gate.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Xbox came out and they're like, so we're discontinuing the Xbox One X. So if you want one, you better buy it now.
Mm.
I mean, they've done it in the past. They've done like stuff like this in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a global thing. That's not even just Xbox.
Right.
So, yeah.
So there's that piece of information.
Mm. Fun, fun.
Other than that, back to more Animal Crossing for me. Probably Resident Evil 3 this weekend, so we'll see.
Me, just to waiting for the countdown for Final Fantasy 7 now.
Oh, I know. We're down to 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Yep, yep.
4 hours
So
and 9 minutes.
can't wait, my friend. Can't wait.
Oh, I could just do a drum roll for you and you can do the countdown.
I don't even know. 4 hours. What is it? What is it? 4 hours
7,
and 9 minutes?
4 hours and 9 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, there is
Yay.
seconds. I do have the seconds on my computer. 4 hours, 9 minutes, 30 seconds until Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
All right. Well, that's it for us today, I guess.
Yes.
I'm gonna remember as soon as we get off.
Oh, of course.
I
That's how
know
it
that's
usually works.
I know that's how it's gonna be. Well,
Oh, yeah.
that's it for us this week, guys. Make sure you catch us each and every Thursday at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 8 o'clock. You have me, Kyle. You have Andre. Andre didn't make it this week, but he typically does make it. So you have the three of us rocking out, no matter Corona or not. So, but that's it for
Mm-hmm.
us this week. Thank you guys for joining. Until next week, make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and game on. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Peace.